All right, let's check this one out. This is something that Guy Roebuck, who owns Roebuck watches, sent this over. I did a video before of a previous model he had, and it did really well. It was a nice build, and he's back at it again. This one's going to be a Kickstarter launch in July of 2021. So this video will probably drop around June of 2021, just so you have some sort of time reference of what's going on. And before I get into anything else, if you like the way this looks, and I do, I think it's cool. It's very retro looking and interesting colors. This is probably the more interesting one of the three, and then there might be a fourth stretch goal. But the other two, there's one that I think OFD videoed. It's basically, it has the gray or silver dial, and then it has like a red bezel insert. But the one I actually like is stunning blue dial in the same kind of fashion where it just radiates out. A blue dial with an orange bezel insert. I like that one. This one's really cool, but man, I don't think I can just pull off pink, but because it's definitely pink looking. But if you're digging the funky colors of this, you're gonna love this, because in the metal, it's actually even better than what this video looks like. It's very cool. So let's get into the specs on this. Before I do that, the Kickstarter price. This is one of those ones that I talk about. You know, there's people that are afraid of Kickstarter or they're hesitant or whatever like that. You do your research, and there are some really good brands out there that offer up these watches on that platform for a really good deal. And that's one of them. This is one of them right here, where you're going to have an introductory. The early bird special is going to save you some loot. So if you're interested in one of these, that's what you want to do. You want to get in on that early bird, because the price is going to go up after that time frame passes. Then you're just, I guess, gonna have to pay more or wait for the used market, and they only make so many, and sometimes they don't get pushed out on the used market. So I advise just swooping it up if you like it and you're interested in it. The price point, I don't want to like say exactly, but it's early bird special is going to be less than the $500 comfort zone that I've talked about in the past, and then after it, it's definitely going to be over it. So when I say under it, I mean like under it, not like $499. It's going to be like under it, way under it. So all right, let's get into the case size, and then we'll talk about some other things. So the case is like 42. It's kind of weird to measure this because of the octagon shape of the case. But if you measure the bezel, it's 42, and the bezel pretty much is like flush with the case. Now, if you measure from here to here, which you can see adds a little bit past the bezel, just to be fair, I'm going to give you that measurement. It's like 43.5, but really it's a 42 by essentially a 47. I mean, you pretty much have this flat case, and it looks like these are integrated, but I think you could probably stuff some other strap in there, maybe a 20 mil, but this strap is really comfortable with this clasp system, so you're going to pretty much want to wear it like it is. 12, just about 12 millimeter, maybe just under 12 millimeter thick. That's including from this awesome 3D artwork on the case back to the top of the flat sapphire crystal, which has AR coating on the underside. And I already mentioned the 20 mil for the lug width here, and the crown is a perfect size at 7 millimeter, which works fine. It's also signed. And get this, I want to zoom in and show you this real quick. And we'll zoom in and talk about some other things while we're doing this. But see that little line right there? That's lume. It has like this lume ring on it. Instead of being loomed here, it's loomed around the ring. And then of course you can see the knurling. I kind of wish the knurling was a little bit sharper. This is a prototype, so some of these things might be addressed, and I'll check with Guy on that. He gave me a short list. But the bezel's not difficult to turn. I just feel like it's a little too smooth. You can still grip it and turn it. It's 120 click. Perfect sound, and like just the back settle thing, there's like no play in it. This one may or may not line up perfectly, but like I said, it is a prototype. So when they do go full production, it's going to be 100% sorted. This is a no date. It's going to use the Miyota 90S5. And then there's a date model out there, which should, or date option, which will have the 9015. And see the finishing, pretty much all brushed, except for where the knurling is, which is polished, which is interesting. Kind of gives that a little bit of bling factor almost. I like that. And I believe this is a sapphire bezel insert. I didn't see mention of that. That should be a sapphire one, and then it's also going to be loomed. The loom is going to be improved over the prototype. That's most often the case when I show these prototypes. The loom on the prototype is usually lacking, and it's the case here. Even though the loom is still good, even in this prototype, you'll see when I kill the lights. Speaking of the loom, it is mixed up, so we have different options here. You can obviously see it's a sandwich dial, but it's a really clean cutout, all rounded, and like even rounded on the edges. It's not sharp or anything, so it's really kind of smooth. Again, I think that helps with the retro look of the watch entirely. So that will be awesome, and a huge opportunity for a massive amount of lume on that sandwich dial underneath. So handset. So the lume is mixed up, like I said. So you have C1 lume on the hour hand, and you have BGW9, I think. Well, I gotta verify this because I'm a little mixed up when I did check the lume. Anyway, there's both C1 and BGW9 on different components, and we'll see it when we kill the lights. Let's see. I think I pretty much covered most things. I do want to show the case back because that is very cool looking. And I just noticed it's not a screwed down case back. It's actually a snap down case back. So I'm not sure. They still have 30 Atmos rating on it, but it's a snap down. Interesting. I have not noticed that on another watch before. So that is cool. Really cool picture of the sea turtle there hanging out in some vegetation at the bottom of the ocean. Oh, check this out. See the balance on the hands? When I first opened this, I was checking that out. I'm like, something's weird about that. Watch this. So if we rotate this around, it's his logo. When you line up the balance on the hands, if you line them up just right, it's his logo. How freaking creative is that? That is awesome. It just looked, I was like, that does something. That means something, right? So I was playing around with it, trying to figure it out. Sure enough, you line them up, and it's a little Easter egg. So that's really cool too. And of course, screw down crown to keep that water resistance. All right, let's put this thing on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. I'm pretty sure, or at least I hope, that it comes with this case too. This is like a, I don't know, I don't think it's authentic, but it's like an ostrich pattern. If it's real ostrich, there's no way. That would be way too much. But that's a really cool case. Those are really convenient and everything. Here it is on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. I love the look. I love the feel. Actually, I was wearing my Omega Aquaterra today, and it has like a very similar feel that strap and clasp does, but in a much cheaper package here for sure for cost. Also, this is upside down. He did mention that. That logo is upside down. That'll be flipped around. So that way it's orientated. When you go like this, the logo will be up, the right side up. But it's basically kind of the same system. And I would love to see more brands do this. Even if they have a bracelet option, you know, try to do another option with a really nice rubber or silicone, or I prefer like FKM or vulcanized, but strap with this kind of clasp. Oh man, I am really warming up to these. These are extremely comfortable, especially in the summertime. All right, let's kill the lights and check the lume. There you go. Like I said, it actually is really bright, and I think you guys are seeing it. And this is the prototype. To the naked eye, the bezel is actually weak, but a guy assured me that the bezel is actually going to be plenty bright. But it's kind of cool even to see that ring around the crown. I like that too. Because usually if they lume the end of the crown, you almost never see that on wrist. This, you're going to see on wrist. Very cool. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next vid.